Hi guys, today we're starting a new series, North Node in Sagittarius. I found the craziest shirt in my closet, so that would represent Sagittarian energy. So let's go. Before we dive into each house to see what we're working with here, let's talk about your South Node in Gemini. So you guys with the South Node in Gemini, you guys are my writers, you guys are my speakers, you guys are my communicators, my salespeople, my intellectuals, my why not philosophers, people who have mastered the art of communication in all its forms, written, oral, whatever communication there is. You get the idea. You guys are great at that. You guys, nobody can out-talk a Gemini South Node unless you have Gemini planets. So Gemini energy is great. Gemini energy loves variety. It's very curious. So you inside of you, there's this innate curiosity about everything. There's you want to know about everything, and you pride yourself on knowing a little bit about everything or a lot about everything. What else? You guys, there was a lot of lifetimes where there was a lot of thinking involved, a lot of decision, a lot of gathering information. You guys are my scribes. You guys are the people, in Game of Thrones, the guy that was every kingdom had a guy that kept track of everything, of all the history and everything. That's you guys, people that dealt with information, disseminating information, collecting information, passing it down in all kinds of forms. So you're great at that. Great salespeople, great, great storytellers, great jokesters. You guys are those, great humor, great sense of humor. Nobody can pull the wool over your eyes because you guys have done that yourself in many lifetimes. So now, if we talk about the bad part, because since the Gemini is in the South Node, that means you guys kind of went to the extreme with these ideas of communication. So what do I mean by that? Gemini South Nodes, you guys are my con artists, you guys are my tricksters, you guys are my imposters, you guys are my used car salesmen, you guys are the ones that, propaganda, fake news, the yellow press, all those ideas where information was misused, it was disseminated in ways that was not honest. You guys are, let's just say it. You guys are very good at telling lies. You guys are very good at twisting the truth. You guys are, like I said, very good at, talking people into buying stuff they don't need. You're very good at manipulating people with information or withholding information. But basically, at the end of the day, and the crazy part is that you, part of you is afraid in a sense of getting tricked. Because you've done it yourself, you're very wary of people around you. And you're always kind of worried about somebody pulling the wool over your eyes. So you kind of don't really trust people that much because you're so scared that somebody's going to lie to you or somebody's going to, con you into something. So you're very cautious about that. But the beauty is that if you are attracting people like that in your life, they're here to show you parts of yourself because there is a con man inside of you. So once you accept that, then you won't attract people like that. What else? Gemini South Nodes, fun people that did a lot of thinking, did a lot of weighing, did a lot of logical. Your mind is very logical. Your mind is, Gemini can be light-hearted, but if it's in the South Node, it can also be a lot of thinking, a lot of mental, constantly the mind is racing. You can never relax. You're always thinking about this and thinking about that and thinking the worst and maybe expecting the worst. Your mind plays tricks on you because your mind is very powerful, always telling you stories. So now with North Node in Sagittarius, the beauty of it is that you need to get away from so much thinking and get into doing. Because Sagittarius doesn't think. Sagittarius just experiences. Sagittarius is the liver of life. Sagittarius doesn't hesitate. He just goes. If he needs to jump, he jumps. And then later he realizes maybe he shouldn't have done that. And that's the beauty of Sagittarian, is that he doesn't hesitate, you know. And you guys, with so many lifetimes of thinking, of always weighing options, of always collecting data, of always thinking, if I just had a little bit more information, I could make the right decision. And that always stopped you. It stopped you from living your life because you're always in your head. You guys are a lot of times in your head. There's a lot of tension in your head. And a lot of times I would say, because you're so active, because that mind's always spinning, sometimes you guys may resort to, you know, things like alcohol, drugs to kind of relax, to calm you down. Nothing wrong with that. You know, all the things that I mentioned, they're tools. They're tools to kind of help you out, because sometimes your mind is just drives you crazy. So with Sagittarius North Nodes, you guys are here to experience. You guys are here to shut your mind and just do what it is that you want to do, because your heart wants to experience. Your heart is done collecting information. Your heart is done thinking about it, pondering, analyzing. You guys love to analyze because you're so afraid to make a mistake. So with Sagittarius, you're just here to do it. You're here to experience it. You're here to find your own truth, because Gemini South Nodes, you guys have twisted the truth. You guys lied. You guys lied to a lot of people, you know, mass people in the form of propaganda or one-to-one relationships. You guys were my imposters that kind of told people what they wanted to hear. You know, the players, you know, romantically, you guys were like that. You know what to say to the other person to get them to do what you want them to do. You're brilliant at that, and you can literally, because you can talk so much about everything, you can literally drive the other person crazy, and they'll just say, okay, fuck it, I'll buy it, whatever, just stop. So yeah, God forbid the wrong person ends up in your hands. You know, you will, you do whatever you want with them, because you're good at manipulating people with your words. So yeah, with Sagittarian, it's going to be important to find your truth. Sagittarius is not a liar. Sagittarius is very honest, sometimes too honest, but that's going to be the most important thing for you in this lifetime, is to find that truth, your inner truth, not so much from here, but from here, and follow it and act on it and speak it, you know, but speak it honestly, even sarcastically, even if it's going to upset people, you know, because you're always used to kind of smoothing things over to benefit you or to benefit the situation. And so now you're here to not be that way. You're here to kind of say, this is what I think, and this is the truth, and I don't care if I lose all of you guys. I don't care if you guys, nobody likes me, but I don't care, because I'm alive like this. You're here to be alive, because Sagittarian is a perfect example of just being alive, being in the moment, and acting on your instincts, and acting on that drive, that fire that you have within you. All right, so now let's go through the houses and see exactly kind of ideas that that you'll be working with in this lifetime. Okay? Okay. North Node in Sagittarius in the 9th house. This is a perfect placement because it's the natural house of Sagittarius, the 9th. So before we talk about that, let's talk about your South Node in Gemini in the 3rd. So that's Gemini's house. 3rd house is the house of Gemini. So you guys, probably the most talkative people of the zodiac. Probably even a bigger chatterbox than Gemini in the 1st. You know, somebody who is constantly bombarded with information, constantly thinking, analyzing, looking, reading, listening, you know, always in the flow of information. Your mind never stops. Your mind never takes a break. It's very hard for you to relax mentally. You have a view of the things around you, and you're all over the place in a sense of, you know, you're on your phone and you're reading a newspaper. You're very comfortable handling a lot of information at one time. You're great at multitasking. You know, somebody else could burn out. You can't. You don't. You are very good at, like, you can read a newspaper, you can have a conversation on the phone. You know, you may, you know, at the same time, TV's playing in the background. So processing information, a lot of information, comes easy to you. You're used to that. You were somebody who had lifetimes where you had to be, you know, alert like that, and had to always be, I'm trying to think what could be, air traffic controller. You know, that would be a good one in a sense. You know, your mind's like always tense because you're always, you know, it's always spinning. It's always either analyzing what it just heard, thinking what it's going to say, wondering what's next, and also yearning for more information. So you guys are, I would say, probably very tense, and you're probably, it's hard for you to relax mentally. It's hard for you to relax your mind to where you could be resorting to like some kind of, you know, drinking or something, or, you know, to just kind of relax. It's hard for you to relax because you're always on edge. You're always like, okay, what's next? I gotta do this. I gotta write this paper. I'm trying to think what other professions could fit Gemini in the third. Somebody who had to be fast at processing information. Somebody who people counted on for information. Somebody who was, you know, you're good at that. You know everything about everybody. Your gossip can be there too. You were always plugged in, always on, always. Like an Energizer bunny, but with your mind, you know. Probably not a lot of doing, but a lot of thinking, a lot of processing. You know, maybe you were somebody who worked in the news, you know, somebody who had to, you know, create content for that. Somebody who was, maybe stock market, that would be a good one too, because you got to think fast, you got to think on your feet, and information is super fast. And you, once again, you get bored quickly. You know, it's hard to hold your attention. A lot of people could say, you know, you're always somewhere. You're just, you know, I can never get your attention. You know, are you listening? Are you here? Because you're always somewhere else in a sense, because your mind's always going so fast. So what's the bad part about that? Well, the bad part about that is that you kind of, you know, in the third house, you overloaded your system with information, literally overload. To where if you keep going this way, you probably crash your motherboard. Yeah, your operating system will probably crash. Like you cannot sustain that level of stress. I would say you probably feel stressed too. Because when the mind's very busy, when the mind's always thinking, that usually means that there's stress associated with that, because there's anxiety of like, all right, what about tomorrow? What about tomorrow? What else? A lot of communicating, a lot of exchange of ideas, a lot of meaningless information as well. Just as it can be important information that people were counting on for you, also it had to be, you know what else could be a good example? Somebody who was like not post office person, but somebody who had to carry like information, you know, like back in the day when they had to get on a horse and go from this village to the other. Somebody who was, you know, information was everything. For you, information is power. If I'm not thinking, if I'm not learning something new, then I'm nothing. That's how you feel. So, like I said, just as it could have been important information, it could also have been useless information. It could just been like, just, you know, gossipy stuff that's distracting, stuff that takes you away from yourself, stuff that is completely meaningless, you know, just stupid shit that is just needs to be left alone. No, for you it was like, nothing is stupid, everything is useful. I need to know this, I need to know this, I gotta read this website, I gotta read, you know, this event took place yesterday, I gotta read all the comments about it so that I know what to say. When I'm conversing, I know what to say to people, because you measure yourself, you give yourself life through talking, through disseminating, through thinking. Like it just never stops. So now with Gemini, and with Sagittarius in the ninth, that's the house of Sagittarius. That's a very nice placement, because you are literally asked to stop thinking so much and stop collecting information and stop being a freaking dictionary and stop just being this database of useless stuff and start living life. Because even though you were busy, but it was a busy body in a sense of like, there's a lot of shit happening here, but not a lot of life is happening. So in the ninth with Sagittarius, you're being asked to live life, to explore, literally to get out of your house, to get away from your computer, get away from your TV, turn everything off and just go explore, go for a walk. If you want to go, if you have the means to go further, go travel, go get out of your city, go to a museum, go to an art gallery, go somewhere where you can just look at things and feel them versus think about them and analyze them and measure them. You know, you gotta quiet that mind, and you have to kind of, it's gonna be so hard for you guys, because literally your mind never stops. It's gonna be really hard for you guys to just shut it off, but try, you know, little by little, every day, just take a break from that meaningless information processing and wanting to know everything, needing to know everything. You know, get away from that and accept it that it's useless, that it's not going to do you any good, because you're literally going to be like that hamster, and you're not going to grow. You may think you're smart and you may think you know about everything, but you haven't lived life. So what else? Sagittarius in the ninth. You know, study something, but study it through experience. You know, explore it, be risky, take risks. When you're so much in your mind will a lot of times limit you. Your mind will tell you scary stories that says, don't do that, it's not good because somebody else did that and this is what happened, and there's a study that was done and this is what happened. So you're always relying on the information around you to tell you how to live your life. With Sagittarius in the ninth, you're here to take risks. If something is super crazy and scary, you have to do it. You have to go bungee jumping, you have to go skydiving, you have to go on a cruise, you have to get on an airplane, you have to go plant a tree, go spend time outside, go and explore, you know, go learn how to, go get in your car and just drive. Get away from information and go into experience. You know, experience as much as you can. Try different foods, watch movies, listen to songs, meet people, expand your world. Because even though you think you know everything and you're on top of current events, your world is very small because it's not experiential. So you're burning out literally, because literally your brain cells are probably going to start, if not already, you know, with this lifetime, you cannot do that again because you will literally burn out. Your brain will fry. So, like I said, get into the experience of things. The crazier, the better. You know, get to know other countries, travel to other countries, just expand, guys. Where any opportunity, if your mind says it's stupid, then you have to do it. Any opportunity to expand your world, to learn something, to try something, to taste something, to see something, take it. Explore, explore, explore. It's going to be amazing. You'll see how much richer your life will be. And then, if you still want to talk about it, you can. But you'll have so much more to pull from because you'll have all this experience. Sagittarius always looks for experience. He doesn't really think. He just does. And that's the beauty of Sagittarius. Okay? All right, guys. Get busy exploring. Have fun.